As you're laying here, take a couple of really good, relaxing, deep breaths. Just let it flow in, good deep inhale. Let it fall out. So a big concept that's been on my mind this week is the idea of softening. The world that we're in right now is super hard. And not just in the physical, hard shell type sense, but it's very much hard in that we have to harden ourselves to be in this society. We have to fight, and in fighting we have to say, I have a correct side and you have an incorrect side. And we don't really oftentimes see that soft middle ground. And we treat so many aspects of our life just like that, so hard, so rigid, so rough. So in today's class, I wanted to play with kind of the concept of softening, realizing we don't always have to be so rigid. We can breathe, we can relax. And especially when we get to our good stretches, imagine the muscle groups just getting to soften. So this good, deep, relaxing, softening motion. That's going to be the idea that leads us into our class today. So with that, let's take some of our nice initial stretches. So we'll begin to take the arms and stretch them all the way to the back wall. Let the shoulders wiggle to the right. And let the shoulders wiggle to the left. Just easy, deep breaths. Take 2 or 3 more to each side. This starts to open up shoulders and ribs. The next time you're starting to come back to the center, you're going to lay right there in the middle and take your right knee into the chest. And that right knee starts to come in, hands grab around that knee. Let the ankle do a couple of easy circles. Sometimes there's that moment where you get those snap, crackle, and pop sounds out, so that chance to ease through some of that type of tightness. You're ready, this leg stretch straighten up to sky. So grab behind the leg, pull it into the nice hamstring stretch. And 2 more breaths, trying to soften that hamstring. Rather than pulling it rigidly, it's a nice, easy motion. And then what we're going to do with that right leg is take the heel and hook it to that back left end of the fabric. Right there, it's like a pigeon pose. We can slide the shin in. Right there. So this opens up that right hip. Give it a couple more breaths. Oh, thank you. You're the best. I appreciate that. Okay, take one more breath to this side. Good inhale. Nice exhale. And then start to free the right leg out. We'll work onto the second side. The left knee into the chest. Maybe ankle rolls with this one. Yep. Okay. Maybe one more breath right here. And start to extend this leg up to the sky, working on the hamstring. Give that hamstring a couple more breaths, easy softening. Okay, moving on to this hip, go ahead and hook the heel, slide the shin in. Lots of time to help that hip have a chance to soften. So just keep those easy, deep breaths flowing. Got a few more cycles just to keep us in good balance. One more good inhale for this half. Nice exhale. When we start to free up this leg, drop the leg all the way down. Let's start to kick the feet free off the front. We're coming up to a seated place. From the seated place, we're going to head to our first inversion. Inversions are really good in this class of softening because inversions help to just get our body and our muscles into a much more relaxed spot within just a matter of 10 seconds. So you say that the muscles start to relax significantly. So to head here, hook the thumbs on this back part of the fabric. This helps to get us to push some of the fabric down toward our pant line. That tends to be the spot that's most comfortable. So then we lean halfway back and grip back on for safety. And the last step to head upside down, the legs go wide. We continue to tilt backwards. And then the ankles just lightly wrap around. As soon as you've got the ankles there, hands are welcome to release. Yay! So this is a place where you can just breathe and relax as long as you like to be upside down. Some people love this more than others, so no pressure.
I didn't quite.
That's okay. That's okay. So you got about to here, so the laying back. The last step is legs wide and continue to tilt back. And then just wrap your ankles. That's it. So once your ankles are there, you're totally safe to let go of hands if you want to.
No problem.
That's okay. This is literally just a matter of you listening to your body. You kind of just feel that moment when it's like, no, stay longer, I need this. And you'll feel that moment when something shifts to be like, okay, I think I'm about ready. So no pressure ever to come up before you're ready. Sometimes these inversions are the only reason people come to aerial class. So I give you plenty of time. But when you're satisfied, when you think you're happy, you help me know where you're at just by coming up into that floating child where the elbows hook. You lean forward, the head is jerked forward, so we can take a couple of nice, just kind of neck rolls. Rock the head left and right. And you come up. Grab the spot that's by your inner knee. So you have to look up toward your belly button. Okay, grab the spot by your knee, thigh. That's it. Grab one and then the other. You got this. Grab it. And then once you've got a good grip, just trust yourself, unwind the legs, and you're up. Oh, you got it. You got it. Look, you did it. Okay, so let your head just have a break for a moment. We're going to take some easy stretches while we're still recovering from that. So sitting up tall, let's take the arms inside. And then we're going to bring this right knee inside so we can try to grab our hands around the right foot. Or sometimes when we start to stretch it out, the foot's a little bit too close. And so sometimes we slip down to ankle or calf. But we lean back just a hair to balance the weight of the leg as we straighten it up to the sky, as high as we can. So foot if you can reach. If not, don't feel any pressure. Ankle, calf area is also beautiful. It's all a matter of meet yourself with where you're at. That's not quality of softening. Feel how even the back and the shoulder muscles get a little bit of this, a little stretch by us also just extending this leg out. Take one more good breath in. Nice exhale. And then when we drop this right leg down, let this right thigh cross over the left thigh. It's like eagle's legs. We're trying to even wrap around the calf if you can. As much of a cross and twist as you can in the legs. And then grab the fabric that's on your right. So it should start to face you toward front door side. From there, your right shoulder and your right arm opens up to the back wall. Or sometimes it even feels amazing to let that right hand behind your head. Feel how if the left knee kind of pushes the right calf further to the left side, it kind of engages the IT band just a little bit. Take one more good inhale. A nice exhale. Arms back inside, uncross the leg. We're working on left, so left knee in, grab around foot or calf, ankle area, whatever you can reach, and then start to extend this leg up. The idea is a soft quality, so note that after holding it for a couple of breaths, you're going to naturally be able to go a little bit further. So the leg will be able to lift maybe higher, or maybe the knee can straighten out just a little bit. So notice just over time naturally how that slow progression happens. When this spot, take another good breath in and out. This leg crosses over like the eagle's wrap. Then bunch up the fabric to your left. left arm opens that back wall or circles around the head. Enjoy the chance to be with the spine. We don't move the spine and let it twist left and right frequently enough, the spine will start to fuse together. This is the chance just to open up the vertebrae, open up the back muscles. So the breath even being a good aid through that journey. And another huge breath cycle, let it flow in, out. Good. Untwist, uncross, we're facing forward. And to head out, we're bunching up the fabric. Grab it on left and right. And this is what makes it easy to come out. If we're gripping on the inside, there's a slight chance of face diving since our toes don't actually touch the ground. But grabbing the whole thing with each hand makes it super easy just to lift the hips right up and out. Good. So from here, keep the fabric over the shoulders, kind of like a backpack that you set up. And then what we're gonna do is take the hands above the head, circle around in that direction that we started, and do a second wrap around the wrist before your hands ultimately grab on. So double wrap, and then it falls right naturally into the hands. So from here, start to lean your weight back. Your feet don't move at all. Your feet are right under front line, and feel how this pulls your spine nice and long. So we'll start to circle up the hips. So let's go to the right. Sometimes I'll go slow and I'll just pause to each direction. Sometimes I'll start to go faster, eventually circling forward. If it's too deep of a back bend, have a slight bend in the knees. Eventually circle left and back. If you like to do another circle or two in this direction before we take a break and switch, go right ahead. If ever hands are tired, just come up to the center and wiggle fingers for a moment. We'll all join together in a second. Good. So if you haven't taken your break yet, give your fingers at least a couple of wiggles. Let it fall right back into the hands, and we'll take the circle to the other direction. So leaning back, now it's to the left side first. You can go fast, you can go slow. Just feel this being a chance to help the spine and all those little side rib muscles get a chance to help. Yeah, if there's really good angles that you find, it's like take that moment, just pause for a little while. It feels really good. Keep going until your fingers need that break, and then you help me know that you're in that spot just by unwinding your hands completely, shake them out. Good. So we're all about there. Hands are unwound. What we're going to do is drop down to a kneeling spot, but keep our elbows inside. So from here, you've kind of got two options. Option one, just a little forward fold that pulls the elbows closer together and starts to open up the shoulders. If you want a little bit more, send your hips forward like a plank, a kneeling plank, I guess. And that makes it so that it increases that stretch. It is tight on the skin though, so don't feel like you have to force too far. Just give it 3 more breaths, whatever spot feels good. After the 3rd breath, tilt forward until you can free out your hands. And we're sitting on our heels from behind. A nice easy grip left and right. And almost like a super exaggerated cat-cow, we're gonna lean back, tilt the head back, and then undulate up from the hips. So hips and arm strength pulls us up to kneeling. And then we slide the hands forward to puppy pose. Let the heart continue to drop down. Start to melt the hips back. Then continue to roll the spine all the way back to that back bend. Arm straight, step up. Happy. All the way to child pose. Back down toward extended fish. Let's go one more cycle through it all. Hold up. Puppy. Child. Extended fish. And then one more time. Good. So up at this high kneeling spot, let's step our right foot forward. And we're going to end up tucking our back toes and lifting that back knee. So it's a really good lunge shape. So from this lunge shape, first, we'll take 3 cycles where we straighten the front leg and tilt forward. And then bend that front knee and go back down, dropping into the lunge, torso's up. Good, so 2 more like that. Straighten the leg, tilt forward. And bend, lift torso. 1 more. Good. So pause at the lunge shape. Just a teeny little workout moment. Putting some pressure forward into the fabric. We come to stand on that front right foot. This left knee floats, balancing. Good. And then point. Land those left toes behind. Good. Another 4. Left knee up. Left toes back. 3. 2. 1. Good. So from here, straighten both legs, lean all the way back forward. Pivot the toes to the left side of the mat. And then it's a half fold of wide angle forward fold. All the way to that back door side. Put the toes back forward to pyramid. 2 straight legs. From here, right elbow points down to the ground. The left straight arm leans to the right. Good. Straighten both arms. Rise up. And change the feet position. So now we'll end up with that left foot forward. The fingers need a little couple of wiggles. That's great. We'll give them a break in a moment. So first it's the lunge shape. So if the back heel isn't lifted, so go back just a little further. And you've got 3 cycles. So straighten the front leg, lean forward. Back up. Bend the knee, good lunge. 2 more. And lunge. Last one. Lunge and stay. So now it's the right knee that floats up in front of us and toes touch back. Do it again for 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So let both legs get to a spot where they're straight, the back heel is down. So lean directly forward first. Feel that really good stretch for the front leg. Wide angle, turn the toes all the way to the right side. That half lean. Let's turn back forward. From the pyramid, Left elbow points down to ground. The straight right arm starts to sway all the way over to the left. So it should be swaying toward back door. Good. So chest to pull the side ribs really long. Good. Easing back forward. Soften the knees, roll the spine up. Feet are stepping together right under plumb line. So bring the fabric right up to the hip bones. So sometimes this may come up to tippy toes just so that way it's not in the guts. Guts makes it so much more comfortable. So staying across bones, take a couple of tippy toes forward. Start to bend at the waist and then drop the hands down. And then it's about 3 big steps backward to take this back under plumb line. So this is downward facing dog. This is a good place to pause. Some of us might go to hip hang by lifting up the toes, even coming around the knees. And I'll let you stay. This is an inversion, so just like before, stay as long as you like. Some of us will be a bit longer, some of us almost ready to pop out already. Different people, different inversions touch them better. Yeah, if it doesn't quite fit in the right spot, come back out so it's in the perfect spot. For me, usually skeleton, the more I can get it right in the pose, the better. Yeah. This one's a good one that you can trust that over time, that massage, that deep tissue massage in the psoas that we're getting, I promise it gets better. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but it does. It gets better over time to the point where it's almost addictive. You're like, please, can we make sure to do this one today? Whichever one that is. So just like before, there's no pressure to stay in it as long as anybody else. Keep on enjoying it if this is like touching it just right for you. But when you're ready to be out, don't feel anything wrong with getting the fabric behind you, just leaning back. It's our recovery pose here. I'll even take my hands behind my head just to support that neck. I can lean back comfortably. My personal favorite thing to do here is bend. When I bend the right knee, I sway my elbows to the right. Straightening that side, I bend the left knee. And it's almost like the upper body is a reverberation of what the lower body is doing. So lean when it's that moment to, and it reverberates right away. Beautiful. So if you still need more time because you're upside down a long time, just keep on laying back. Don't ever feel rushed out of the recovery. You feel like, okay, I think I'm good. I think I can move on. We'll start to back our feet up until we're standing up on our own. Fabric will be popped out in front of us again. Good. So from here, let's open up the entirety of the fabric. This is from standing from behind. from there, we're going to get our right leg in the whole fabric. Good. So you'll notice if you stand too far back, you can even just look at it and it's like really weird tilted to try to keep you standing at that spot. So you'll notice it's way more comfortable to stand right behind the line, like 2 or 3 inches when you lift your head up. So stand, hop right up to it. And the first thing we're gonna do here is dive both arms inside. We're leaning forward and then both elbows are bent. They push outward into each side. What that does is it lifts that right leg up higher into that stretch. So this is really returning to that idea of softening that we started with. Just enjoy that spot, a couple really good breaths. Now as the spine rises up, leave the left hand inside. Right hand is gonna release, start to circle it up to sky. And right hand travels all the way to the back wall. Our spine's in a really good twist. So keep on opening that shoulder. Even let the neck gaze back. Good, return the shoulder just how it came up to go forward. And then what we're gonna do is grip onto the left half. So both hands are on that left end. We're sliding our right hand up high, our left hand is by the heart. And then turn your standing toes to the left side. So this opens up our hips to the back door. So from this spot, both hands on this, the part that's in front of you now. From this spot, start to bend at the waist. Slide the fabric down your hands. Some of us might pause at the halfway mark. That's a good stretch. Some of us might work the left hand all the way to the floor. If you've easily got hand to floor and you want more, tuck the hands forward another foot and then lean your weight forward into the fabric. It's more like a split to the mirror. So any amount we went forward, you need to take it back over standing leg. Both hands grab up for safety. And I'll usually bend my knee like a spring to help pump my torso up. So once you're there, face forward again. For this next one, we'll want to make sure we're covered up to that right glute. So cover up to the hip, all the way around the glute. And then in front of you, the knee will swivel. It'll bend so that your foot comes in front of you. Both arms dive all the way through the center. Even get your shoulders past the front part. That kind of locks you in place so that you're totally safe. There's nowhere you can go here. So we'll do a couple of different things here. The first one is slide your standing toes back and then rock forward on your toes so that you're stretching the bottom side of that foot. Give that spot a couple of easy, deep breaths, as much as the foot will stretch. I know it's pretty deep. Good. So this is the spot where you want to stay, both because you feel safe and it feels good. That's great. The second option would be to head to a quad stretch. So this would be left hand, sliding up the left knee toward that left foot. Then sometimes the right hand can come around and grab the big toe, sometimes not. So if it can reach, great. If not, no stress. If you don't really feel that left quad stretching, the knee gets pulled back just a little bit, and that will take you there for sure. Good. One more good breath. Let it flow in, out. One more option if you want it. This is lotus pose. That left foot, you grab it in front. You could keep it low if the hip's really tight, or bring it all the way up as high as stacking it. By the way, the ankle that's in the fabric, if you need to, if it feels like you're kind of twerking it at all, just keep that foot in flexion. Good. So if hands need to stay at the foot to keep it from slipping, that's great. Sometimes hands can come to the heart. We can close our eyes. Kind of imagine some possibilities. That's a very soft way of viewing the world. Just imagining, what if I could actually kind of float around the room like this? Wherever you're at, take another good breath in. Out. We'll start to release that left foot back down to the ground. Slide it back. And we're leaning forward to try to get a last hip stretch before we wrap up. So if you don't really feel a pigeon pose hip stretch at all, I want you to take the fabric off of your glute, and any amount that you slide it down the thigh will start to deepen it. So if you take it all the way down toward your knee, that's the deepest option. It lets the hips drop down a bit further. Good catch. See how safe it is? It's just slow motion, so like, oh, here I am. Yeah, so graceful. You did good, you did good. So just note for that one, where your standing foot is will change how the balance is. Okay, so one more good breath for the hip. Good inhale. Nice exhale. And that left foot hops right underneath our body. We'll have to come out really safely. So when you start to lift up the shoulders, grab your hands on for safety. The leg can extend back forward. You want to take the leg out in a way that you can just immediately get that second side in. So it's already prepared. You can do the whole waving thing too, that's fine. If this didn't work as planned. So whenever we're here, remember we're not standing too far back, otherwise it's a struggle just to stand. So hop right up an inch or so behind plumb line. Dive both arms inside when you're there. See, you can totally cut yourself. You guys are doing great. Elbows inside, elbows push out wide. That lifts the leg right up to you. Some days are days for balance, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. As long as you have enough to cover the glute, you're good. What do you think? Cramps? Just relax out of it. Just breathe. Sometimes cramps are a sign of hydration too, so make sure you're drinking enough water in your day. Okay, so as we rise up, we're going to take that twist. So leave the right hand inside. Left hand starts to circle up to the sky. Then it travels all the way up into the twist. Remember, this is that quality of softening. So rather than forcing anything to happen, how much can we just soften into the shape? So here that might mean just opening the shoulder from the top just a little bit more. Sometimes it's more like a mental thing than anything else. It's like just a visualization of opening. Good. Return that arm how it came. Good. Once we're facing back forward, both hands go to this right side. We end up with the right hand at the heart, left hand slides up high. And then start turning your standing toes to the right. So from this nice safe grip, one at the heart, one up high. We'll start to bend at the waist. Maybe right hand to shin or floor. Maybe hug the hand forward to get your weight into it. A couple of breaths. So weight over standing leg. Both hands grab on for safety. Bend the knee. It's like a little spring to come back up. So start to face forward. This one's the one where we need to cover up to glute. bend the knee, swiveling it up to the side in front of you. And then dive both elbows and shoulders all the way through to the middle. Good catch. Perfect. See, covering up to glute is that spot that makes it so you can lift and you're fine. Okay, so first things first, the toe stretch. Slide that right toe foot back and then rock your weight forward on the foot until you feel kind of like the fascia on the bottom of the foot stretching. Stay or go to the quad stretch. Right hand slides up to the right foot. Sometimes both hands can grab, sometimes not. It's not any pressure. Make sure you do feel the quad stretch if you're going for this one though. So if you need to slide the knee backwards a little bit, that'll definitely help. Good. The last option for that lotus, this would be the one where we grab it in front. Depending on how the hip is, maybe it comes all the way up to stack, maybe not. Take hands to heart if it's not slipping. So 2 more breaths, just relaxing in this moment. Good. Whenever we drop down, it's the last little hip opener, so leaning forward. If you feel the hip, great. If you want deeper, slide any amount down the glute and even toward the knee. That allows the hips to drop a bit lower into that stretch. Another huge inhale. Exhale. Standing foot can hop right underneath us. You roll the spine up, grab on for safety, and easily take the foot out. If you're trying to balance this isn't the issue, just one step at a time. Good. Let's do a nice straddle back inversion. The last inversion of the day. So we're gonna take our shoulders back inside, feel like that backpack. The thumbs grab from behind. This is super, super similar to the first inversion we did today. So the goal of that, the thumbs and palms, is to push the fabric right up to that sacrum. Or so it's a little bit lower than the pant line this time. Here, 1 foot steps back. Start to bend your knees so that you can walk the fabric right across that sacrum. And then we'll need to tiptoe 3 times forward to take us right under plumb line. From here, hands go up, knees go wide. As soon as you're there, wrap the feet and you're safe to let go. Good. Perfect, you're under plumb line now. So you got the hands up, so bring the knees wide and do lean back just a little bit. So go wide, wide, wide. Like a frog, wider than that. Yep, you got it. Keep your frog, you're there. You can be safe to let go if you want to. So those that are here, if you want a nice little inversion that's like a hip opener and a back bend, this is called chandelier. We take our right leg out, and then it has to point all the way to the mirror. And then bending that knee, we try to grab our hands behind our back to that foot. Good. So right leg out, point it to the mirror. Yeah, and bend the knee, grab it. So once you spend a little bit of time with the right leg, you can eventually switch it out to the left leg. It's all going to be up to you how long you stay in these things. Same with if you hit that moment where it's like your head has to come out, just come on out. So it's all up to you. So moving back like we did earlier. Give your head some time. Got that one leg wrapped perfectly. This one just wrapped all the way around you. So this one, just for a second. So, see how that feels more stable? You're very welcome. Those that are really enjoying this, just stay. I'll give you plenty of time. Those that have been out for a little while, this is a stretch you're welcome to do if you wish. Walk your feet forward, then drop the weight of your hips down so it pulls your spine long from this direction. From here, sometimes it's nice to take a little hip opener, take one ankle up. Stay as long as this side feels good, eventually switch. Perfect. Nice and slow like that. You did perfect. So this one's up to shoulders. You've done each hip. Sometimes it's nice to let the legs be like frog legs where they circle out and back. So helping to loosen up some tightness there. If you want one more option, a little twist, both knees drifting to one side. Both knees drifting to the other. Good. If you just got out and your head needs more time, just kind of straighten the legs and lay back for a little bit longer. I'll guide us through one last shoulder opener before we wrap up. So with this shoulder opener, I want you to come to the top of the fabric like you're about to head inside at the beginning of class. So grip that mirror side. And then grab onto that top end of the fabric all the way to this mirror side. Good. Wave the fabric out. Thanks for staying in class. And then turn around. This time, instead of taking those 5 grips, you're going to slip your elbows inside. Up to the other end. No, sorry, you two switch. So Gemma, you were right. Anna, switch to the other end. Good. So when you've got the elbows inside, start to walk forward. Feel how that peels the shoulders open. So you can either stay like this or change it to a lunge. 1 foot steps forward. Just feel how lifting the heart up opens that chest and the pecs. So give it 2 more breaths for this half. And slide the feet together. Take a little break. Elbows slide into the waist. Let the head roll a half circle, rock over to one side. Slowly all the way back. Good. So we've got one more time. If you did both feet together, just lean forward another time. If you did the lunge, 2nd foot steps forward. Fill those pecs open again, whole chest, whole heart opening. Maybe even brief moments with the throat opening. One more good inhale. And exhale, start to head the feet together. Slip it down so you're switching the grip and now it's thumbs inside. This is where we can take the 5 grips. We'll head inside for our final Shavasana. Note my disclaimer, if you ever want to go Shavasana on the floor, that's fine too. But slip your glutes inside and come all the way to lay back. Got a few minutes here just to rest. So really, more than anything else, no matter how much muscles loosened or maybe they're still in that process, whether, no matter what the experience was in class, let this be a magical opportunity here to let the breath soften. By the breath softening, suddenly the emotions seem to be softer, the body seems to be softer. So just let several good, slow, relaxing breaths start to flow. Here we'll slowly begin to head out. We'll start off just by deepening the inhales, the exhales. Introducing little movements back to the fingers and the toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching arms, maybe swinging arms left and right a couple of times. Sometimes it's fun while in the hammock to take a fetal position. So we do that by keeping the body long, but then rolling one hip to stack on top of the other hip on one side body. So from there you can curl in like a tight little ball. And arc the spine all the way back. Almost like that cat-cow motion. Just help the spine to wake back up. Good. And if you did it to one side, I'll usually do 3 or 4 good arches before I switch sides. Just balance my spine out. So keep taking these little movements and little wiggles to wake up the body, wake up the spine. Sooner or later, when you feel about ready to come up to a comfortable seated place, start to kick the feet free off the front. Grab onto the fabric to pull you guys up. As we rise, we can start to join hands together in front of the heart. Turning back to our intention one more time. There's so much about our society right now that is so rigid and so hard. So sometimes it's beneficial to soften, to not quite be so rough, so rigid about things, to let ourselves have a softer shell. So with this idea to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.